that yard and a half of clothesline out of your kisser and try to pay some attention to me for a minute?
Hey, come over here, kid. Learn something. You never know, you might have to cook for 20 guys someday. You see? You start out with a little bit of oil, and you fry some garlic. Then you throw in some tomatoes, some tomato paste. You fry it. You make sure it doesn't stick. You got it to a boil. You shove in all your sausage and your meatballs. Huh? And a little bit of wine. And a little bit of sugar. And that's my trick.
Why don't you cut the crap? I got more important things for you to do.
I used a razor and he used to slice it so thin that it used to liquefy in the pan with just a little oil. It's a very good system. Vinny was in charge of the tomato sauce.
Ah, got the smoke. Got three kinds of meat in the meatballs. You got veal, beef, and pork.
Ah, good, but you gotta have the pork.
Oh, that's the flavor.
You can have all...
I felt he used too many onions.
Okay, you say you want to learn how to make spaghetti sauce just like that. Well, Anthony Sapienza from Anthony's Restaurant in Warrensburg is here to show us how. Hello.
How are you, Beth?
Good.
How you doing, my friend?
Look, we have all the ingredients here, just like what we saw in the movies, and you're going to show us what to do, huh?
What we want to do is we want to show all the men at home with the techniques we just saw in my recipe here, how to prepare a sauce. Okay. First of all, we need a beautiful lady to prepare it for.
Oh, that's
Where?
I know, really.
Some good Italian music, of course.
Uh-huh.
With a candlelight.
Oh, where did the music
Some fine wine. This is from Francis Ford Coppola's vineyard. This is his Rubicon. You can't get better than this. John and I will have a little bit later.
Okay.
But for the preparation for the sauce, we're going to use olive oil. We have garlic, red onion. We have concentrated crushed tomatoes, whole plum tomatoes, and fresh basil, salt, and freshly ground black pepper. We have some things sauteing on the stove. Yes, please. Okay. The sauce should always be made in a heavy aluminum pot or a terracotta casserole because these dissipate the heat evenly and help prevent the sauce from burning.
Oh, okay.
We have the garlic and onions sauteing.
Ooh,
and
boy,
when
that smell. I like it.
In the olive oil, and when they become translucent, we want to add the tomatoes.
Okay.
First, we add the whole plum tomatoes.
I'm going to stand back a little bit.
And then you could either run these through a food mill or crush them by hand. We prefer to crush them by hand to leave a nice little texture of whole tomatoes in there as well.
Okay.
And we have the concentrated crush. And when you're using concentrated crushed tomatoes, you add a little bit of water. These are made from fresh packed tomatoes grown in Modesto, California.
Good, we can see that.
And when it comes to a boil, we don't have it on the stove right now, but as Clemenza says, you're shoving all your sausage and your meatballs.
Oh, look
right
at
here.
all of that.
And you can make different types of meatballs, the Sicilian-style meatballs with the raisins and pagnolis, or you can make a beef braciole with a little garlic and parsley, a little olive oil, or a nice piece of veal at your preference.
Oh, okay.
And then lower the flame and let the sauce simmer. You got to keep stirring it with a wooden spoon. Make sure it doesn't stick. And then we have finished product over here. A little rigatoni with some fresh basil in the sauce. If John would care to try that.
This is exactly the way my mom makes it, I gotta tell you.
Wait, John,
and he talks all the time about
put a little cheese in it for you.
And my Aunt Jenny, by the way, 91 years old.
Let's grab a spoon.
Still making this good tomato sauce, huh?
Of course, absolutely.
All right.
Freshly grated pecorino romano.
Ooh, see?
Oh, we're anxiously awaiting the taste.
Believe me, I know my pasta.
Excellent, huh?
And for those who would like the recipe, they could write into Anthony's.
That's right. We have that address for you if you'd like to get this recipe. And boy, John says you should do it. There it is, Route 9, Warrensburg, 12885. I'll give you a second to write that down. The address is 2162. That's the phone number if you'd like to call and make the trip up to Warrensburg for the restaurant.
One of the things we want to point out is when we use the whole plum tomatoes, preferably you want to use a San Marzano imported from Italy. This is a company who puts out an imported tomato, but this happens not to be an imported tomato. It says tipo italiano pomodori pelati con basilico, which would persuade people to think it was imported, but it's not. Always look for the symbol on the bottom of the can that says Italy.
Oh, okay. That's a good
but-
tip.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Little Francis's wine here.
Thank you.
All right.
And
here we go.
we wish you
Salute.
salute and bon appetito.
Thanks, Anthony. We'll be right back. When we come back, if you're afraid of carjackers, there's a new way to make sure you never drive alone if you don't mind driving with dummies. You ready for that? We'll have it next.